A shorter verse today, where we go and we find Mary, Joseph and the baby. Kai eltan spelsantes, kai enuran, ten Mariam, kai ton Joseph, kai tobrepos, kemenon enter patner. This is now the 8th time we've started a sentence with kai in this chapter, and they elthon and aneuran, 2 aorists there, both with this slightly strange arn on the end. You get 5 of those elthons in the New Testament without a compound, 3 of which are Luke-Acts and the other 2 are John. It's an alternative version of the aorist which disambiguates it from the first person singular. So we've borrowed back the third person plural regular ending, put it on the irregular stem of erchomai, and then you've got the irregular aorist elthon with a regular ending an, differentiating elthon, I went, from elthon, they went. It's the kind of ending you usually get with apon or elthon, much less commonly with other kinds of verbs. So seeing it on aneuran is unusual. Indeed, there is textual difference over that, and some versions do read aneuron. So not all versions will read it with that helpful an in there. They went spelsantes. This is the aorist of speldo, aorist participle, hurrying. Now I'm saying hurrying because that's the manner in which they're going. This is one of the weirdest forms of aorist I've seen described. You get called aorist of concomitant action. What this actually means is that sometimes a verb's manner will be described using an aorist participle. So instead of sequencing things, it does give you the manner in which that verb's carried out. For me, a good example would be the kind of things you get with speaking sometimes. See Luke 16:24, for example, where you get autos ponesos apen. He, having spoken, said. Well, the speaking and the calling out are really part of the same action. You're not sequencing things with the aorist, but you are perhaps giving the manner of the speech. So they've hurried and they've eneuran, that's the aorist of aorisco. Find, they found, and that prefix an only occurs twice in the New Testament with aorisco, and they're both Luke-Acts. The other one is Acts 21:4. So adding that prefix is telling something about finding out about Mary and Joseph and tobrefos, we've had that already, the infant, kemenon, lying, enter fatner, in the manger. Unlike last time we had the manger, this time we've got a definite article because we've introduced it, so we now know which manger we're talking about, so it can now be definite. We've also got a nice structure of te, kai, making them a clearly linked family group. We've got both Mary and Joseph and the infant. And that both and is now extended across 3 items rather than the 2 you might expect. They're nice and linked, but the kemenon only agrees with brephos. So we can't easily say in English, Mary, Joseph and the infant lying in a manger, because that, unless you're using your punctuation very carefully, might make it sound like they're all lying in the manger. So some translations may be specific about identifying that it's the brephos that's lying in the manger, and not Mary and Joseph in the link next to them. Easy to see in Greek, because kemenon, that's clearly a neuter participle agreeing with brephos. Far harder to see in a language like English that doesn't inflect so neatly.